Hey guys, what's up? My name is Katie and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm doing the mid-year book Freakout tag because it's halfway through 2019 and it's time to freak out about the books that we have read or not read so far this year. And I was tagged by the lovely Jess over at Tundra Tomes and Madison over at Princess of Paperback. I'm excited to get to this tag. I did it last year and I just think this is a really good tag to do from year to year to keep track of your reading throughout the year, and I'm excited to just jump right in. So question number one, what is the best book you've read so far this year? And for that one I have to go with Kingsbane by Claire Legrand. I actually just finished this up the other day and like, holy hell, this blew me away. This is a sequel to Furyborn, which follows two women 1,000 years apart in a land where there is a prophecy that there will rise a Sun Queen and a Blood Queen that can wield all 7 of the elements, one with the power to destroy the world and one with the power to save it. Oh my goodness, like this story, this sequel, I love Furyborn so much. It was one of my top 10 books of 2018 and this just blew it out of the water. It was so phenomenal and there's just so much thought and that went into it, and it's so well crafted, and there are some plot twists in here that hurt me. They hurt me. This ending hurt. I like couldn't stop thinking about it for hours because I just could not believe that it happened. Like I was just in shock. I love this series. I need book number 3 right now. And I mean, if you're just looking for like a really unique and inventive fantasy that just has some of the best things I love about it is the unique structural choices and the anti-parallelism of the two main characters. Like, it's phenomenal. Question number 2 is the best sequel you've read this year. And I mean, I could say Kingsbane, but I saved that one for question number 1. So I have 2 in this slot. And the first one, it's God's Grave by J. Kristoff. Nevernight follows the story of Mia Corvair, a 16-year-old girl that is seeking to join the Red Church of Assassins in order to learn how to be the best killer possible and get vengeance for her family that was brutally murdered. And Nevernight is just so good. Like, everyone loves J. Kristoff, and that is for a reason. He is a phenomenal writer. You just get so drawn into the world, and he has a really unique way of writing with the footnotes that he has into the text, and it really adds to the layering of the story and the world building, and phenomenal book. God's Grave just went in a direction that I wasn't expecting, and it worked so well. His whole world of Nevernight, which is this planet basically where there's 3 suns and they almost never set, so it's never night. The mythology is so rich and there's just so much like beauty in the way that he tells the story, and I freaking like love it. And God's Grave just upped the ante for everything, and it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And Dark Dawn comes out in September. Also, The Wicked King by Holly Black, which is a follow-up to The Cruel Prince. If you know me, you know I love The Cruel Prince. It is the story of Jude, who was whisked away with her 2 sisters from the human world into the fairy world when she was only 7 after her parents were murdered in cold blood right in front of her eyes. And as a mortal in the fairy lands, she has to be a little bit cruel herself in order to thrive among the conniving fairies. I just like love Holly Black's world that she creates in The Wicked King and in The Cruel Prince, just because the fairies are so like sly and conniving and the characters are just great, and Jude is power hungry and she is not afraid to be who she is and to thirst for power, and I just adore her for that. And The Wicked King really brought it, you know. The Wicked King really brought it. It was a phenomenal sequel. I love Cardan, I love Jude. The conniving and the trickery that happened, I was blown away by the plot twist. Like, just a phenomenal story. I love it. A new release that you haven't read yet but you want to, calling myself out here on this one, but I really need to get to the Cassandra Clare books that have come out this year. I was on such a big Cassandra Clare kick last year, like from June to about January, really. I read every single Shadowhunters book, and now I have not picked up the new ones, but I have read Scrolls of Magic and Ghost of the Shadow Market at home, and I haven't touched them yet, and I really need to because I love these characters, I love these stories, and I just need to continue to be Shadowhunters trash because that is who I am. Most anticipated books for the second half of 2019, and there's so many books coming out that I'm so excited for. Like, I just like love making my little lists of books that I am looking forward to and my most anticipated releases. But to give a little hint of what I am truly looking forward to the most, we have Queen of Nothing, obviously since I love The Wicked King so much. Dark Dawn, obviously since I love the Nevernight Chronicles so much. Also Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, because it's an adult, like, dark story, and like I just love Leigh Bardugo and her writing, and I just think she's gonna do an adult story such justice, and it's gonna be so well done. I can't wait. And there's also a few collector's editions coming out that I'm really excited to get my hands on, and that is going to be the Clockwork Angel collector's edition, similar to the 10th anniversary City of Bones collector's edition that came out a few years ago, and like I just know it's going to be beautiful. On Cassandra Clare's Instagram, she's been posting some of the character art that Cassandra Jean has been doing for the edition, and like the Infernal Devices is probably my favorite of the Shadowhunters series, and just my level of excitement is through the roof. We also have a collector's edition of A Court of Thorns and Roses coming out in November. So, I mean, like, November is just gonna be a treat for me because that's also when Clockwork Angel comes out. Yeah, so the collector's edition of A Court of Thorns and Roses, I'm sure it's gonna be beautiful, just like the Throne of Glass collector's edition is beautiful, and I need it. They haven't released what the cover is gonna look like yet, but I'm just so looking forward to it because that's gonna be gorgeous. Court of Thorns and Roses is one of my favorite series because, you know, I'm Sarah J. Maas trash. The biggest disappointment of the year, and for this one, is going to be The Gilded Wolves by Roshni Chokshi. I read this for the Books with Friends live show that Chloe and Spencer host, and I was so excited to be on this live show and talk about this book, and I just didn't like it. It was a 2-star read for me, which I do not rate books low, and it was like on my most anticipated releases of the year. It just sounded so promising. It was about these like band of misfits, and like this guy is like wealthy and owns hotels and this cool magic system, and unfortunately when I got to reading it, it just made no sense to me. Like, the rules of the world just seemed very inconsistent, and I liked the characters, but I just could not get past the messy world building, and that ruined the story for me, and I was so disappointed because I really wanted to love it and gush about it on the live show, but that didn't happen. Next question is, what book was the biggest surprise of the year? And for this one, I'm going to go with Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. You know, Daisy Jones and the Six has been getting so much hype, and I listened to The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I really adored that book, but, you know, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about Daisy Jones and the Six, just because it is told in interview style, and it's about the 70s rock band and their story, and basically like their explosive ending of the band, why they all disbanded at the height of their career, and it's just a phenomenal story, and it really made me feel things, and I was surprised by how affected by the story I was, because I didn't think that I would be, because oh, it's just this story about this rock band, but it was actually really emotional, and I thought it was really well done. I think the audiobook really hits you with the emotions because the voice actors are so expressive, and it really felt like I was almost listening to a podcast of an interview with this band, and I like felt like they were a real band, and it really surprised me that I felt that way about this book, and I loved it. New favorite author, either new to you or a debut author, and for this I'm going with Tricia Levenseller, who is the author of Daughter of the Pirate King. I picked this one up on Scribd because I just needed something to listen to, and I freaking loved it so much I got a physical copy. Daughter of the Pirate King follows Alosa, who is sent on a mission to basically infiltrate this group of pirates and steal their map, but she gets entangled with the first mate Raiden, and it's just like lady pirate swashbuckling fun with a witty banter romance. It was so cute, so adorable, and like if you're a big fan of Pirates of the Caribbean, which I definitely am, I've loved those movies my whole life, but you wanted a female-led story akin to Jack Sparrow, like this is the book for you. And I've now read all of Tricia Levenseller's books, including Daughter of the Siren Queen, which is this follow-up, and as well as Warrior of the Wild, which just came out in February and is a Vikings inspired story, and I loved all of them. So now basically anything that Tricia Levenseller writes, she is an auto-buy author for me, and I will buy it and probably love it. And she has one coming out in 2020 that sounds so cool. Next question, your newest fictional crush. So 2019 was the year that I got into reading smut, and it's phenomenal, and my new fictional crush is Garrett from The Deal, because I mean, his abs, but also he just seems like this cocky, conceited hockey player who's like the big shot on campus, but as you learn more about as his relationship with Hannah progresses, you learn more about him, and he's just kind of like this really sweet and thoughtful guy. And you know, I'm just a sucker for the sweet and thoughtful guys, so that's why he's my fictional crush. The deal follows two college students, Garrett, who's a star hockey player, and Hannah, who's a music major, who basically doesn't care a thing for popularity. And when Garrett is failing his class, it could jeopardize his hockey career. And so he strikes a deal with Hannah for her to tutor him in this class, and he will pretend to be her boyfriend so she can catch the interest of her crush. Phenomenal book. If you're looking to get into smut, it is a great starting point because it is chef's kiss. My new favorite character, and that is going to be Harper from A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. A Curse So Dark and Lonely is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. In the land of Emberfall, Ren is cursed to repeat the autumn of his 18th year over and over until he can get a girl to fall in love with him. And Harper is a girl living in Washington, D.C. who is constantly underestimated because of her cerebral palsy. And when she is pulled into the world of Emberfall, she must work with Ren to stop the bigger threats to the kingdom at large. Oh my goodness, it was just so refreshing to see a disability represented in young adult literature, as well as seeing this character be strong and not be defined by her disability. It's so important, and I will talk about this endlessly, but please go watch my friend Angela from Blonde's Books video about disability rep in literature. It's such an important topic to discuss, and I think she just sums it up perfectly, like how well done the character of Harper is and like how great it is to have that representation in literature. And even just despite Harper overcoming difficulties, I just really loved how she was strong in the sense of she didn't let anything stop her, and she was so determined to do what is right. And that is something that I really look up to in, you know, characters in the books that I'm reading. Okay, next one, a book that made you cry. I don't really cry while reading books. Like I get emotional for sure, but I'm not a crier. But the book that made me cry was Kingsbane by Claire Legrand, because like I just like don't understand how these things could occur. Like the plot twist at the end was such a shock that I literally cried. Like it was such an emotional ending, and like everything that we thought we knew is different now. And I just like sat there and I like had to look like this, closed it, and just had to think about it for a long while because like couldn't process what happened, and it made me very sad, and I did tear up a bit. So it takes a lot for a book to make me do that, so that's how you know it had a very big emotional impact on me. Okay, a book that made you happy. I'm gonna go with The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Oh my god, this book is so adorable. Freaking adorable. Lucy and Josh are co-workers who are sworn enemies and stuck in an office together for 40 hours a week, and they are engaged in a vicious battle of one-upmanship. However, when they are both up for the same promotion, there may be more to their games than just hating. And oh my god, it's so cute and sweet and like just a treat to read. Like I listened to the audiobook and I had like a smile on my face the whole time I was listening to it, and like obviously I went out and bought the physical book because I just wanted to go back and reread my favorite parts. And I can tell that this is going to be a book that I come back to for comfort if I'm like feeling sad or something like that. Like I know I'm just gonna love this book for freaking ever because it's the cutest thing and it makes me super happy. Okay, favorite book to movie adaptation. So I don't actually think I've read any book to movie adaptations this year, but I will say I love Game of Thrones, and I was like hyped for the last season of Game of Thrones, and that is the big book to movie adaptation that I spent my time watching this year. But besides that, I really have not seen any book-based movies or anything like that, so gotta go with Game of Thrones. What is your favorite video that you've done so far this year? And I've just been really proud of the content I've been putting out this year, but I have to say I think my favorite is my rare book buying guide, just because it was something I was excited about because I just spent a lot of time looking at rare books and wanting to find these books that people, you know, they're hot commodities, people really want them. So I created kind of like a method and I put it out there for people to find, so that if they want to find these rare editions of the books and they're not trying to get them, that they have a resource for that. And I'm really proud of that video because it took a lot of research and time and effort, but it was also a lot of fun to make. And that's basically what I do whenever I want to find like a rare book. So it was fun and I'm proud of myself for it. Next question, most beautiful book you bought this year. And I bought many beautiful books, but at the moment my obsession is truly Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I mean, it is so pretty and I'm gonna read this book soon and I can't wait. It is about a foundling in a library that takes care of magical spell books, and she is accused of a crime involving setting one of these evil spell books free, and she must team up with a sorcerer to clear her name. And it just sounds like everything I love. I love Margaret Otterson's other book, An Enchantment of Ravens. If you've been around here and seen my videos, like the past few videos, I've literally been screaming about this book, but I mean, she's so pretty, and I want to read it so soon because I just know the writing on side is going to be equally as beautiful. And last but not least, books that I need to read before 2019 ends. Obviously all my anticipated releases, but mostly what I want to focus on is all the books on my shelves that I have not read yet. And there are many, but the few that I will mention that I really, really want to try to get to before 2019 ends is the Mistborn trilogy. I just bought the box set. Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, Crown of Feathers by Nikki Paul Prado, Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnett, and Shadow of the Fox by Yulia Kugawa. And yeah, I mean, but basically, like, I've been accumulating books faster than I can read them, and I really want to take a moment to slow down and catch up with all the books that I've been buying. But just in general, like, I don't know, I'm excited to just continue reading, and I've, at this point in the year, halfway through, I've read 62 books. That's way more than I read last year, and I'm really proud of myself. And I can't wait to see what the second half of 2019 holds. So with that in mind, I am going to tag a few people to do this tag. So I'm going to tag Jade from The Jaded Reader, and Soleil from The Little Reader's Corner, Trey from Faye Trey, Chanel from Chanel Time, Cindy from Read with Cindy, Steph from Shut Up and Read, Britt from Basically Britt, and Joe from Average Joe Reads. Let me know down below what was your absolute best book of 2019 so far, and have some fun, read some books, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.